Good evening. Still working on getting that open around here, but my boy Dusty Baker is back with us for Kendrick and Dusty Talk Sports. Not too busy of a day, but a few gems in there this afternoon.
We're no longer sipping on something strong in Mexico, are we now? No, things are.
I digress.
we want that to happen. We do have a couple things in action. I think the big thing is our lead is obviously talking soccer right now. The World Cup. It's officially here, the FIFA World Cup. It's taking place in Australia and New Zealand, and it's the Women's FIFA World Cup, I should add. And so naturally, Kendrick, we got some representation here in Louisville. We're going to start from the very top very early in the day.
6 o'clock this morning.
6 a.m. when all of you guys, I was not. No, were you up?
Of course not.
Were you working out at that time?
No, I didn't go get beat up until about 5 hours later.
Your trainer only crushed you a little bit after that.
Yeah.
So, well, if you were up at that time, you could have caught Australia taking on Ireland, and you would have maybe had the chance to see on the sidelines Alex Chidiac, who is a reserve on that squad. Did not get in on the action. Number 8, though, if Chidiac does get in the action, check out number 8 on Australia. But Chidiac's not the only one. There are 6 members of Racing Louisville that will be representing, of course, for their countries, and it's all different countries as well. So through the list here, Kendrick, after, of course, that 1-0 win for Australia, a couple other players to mention here. Ari Borges will be representing Racing Louisville on Team Brazil. Forward Uchenna Kanu will be on Team Nigeria. Forward Tembia Katlana, she will be on South Africa's squad. Midfielder Wang Shuang, she will be with China. And the one that we'll talk about here, it's none other than Savannah DeMello making her debut tomorrow for Team USA, the women's national team. She's gotten a lot of attention, of course, was a key component to Racing Louisville's success. She gets called up to the squad. Now she gets the chance to be on the big show.
Right. And, you know, she's had a breakout year this year. She's just her second year in the NWSL with Racing Louisville. California kid like yourself.
Yeah.
And like I said, she has been a breakout star for Racing Louisville. Racing is off to their best start in franchise history. She's a big part of that. So it's going to be exciting to see if she gets in the game with Team USA. Because, I mean, the squad.
It's a loaded squad.
It's a loaded squad.
Absolutely.
But it's still, whether she gets in or not, it's an excellent opportunity for one. She gets to work out with these ladies. And so she's going to improve when she comes back to racing. So it'll be interesting to see how much she improves when she returns.
She's going to pick up a lot from players. She mentioned Alex Morgan, obviously, is the key. But here's what she had to say just about the emotions of being called and told that she was on Team USA's roster.
Anytime you get to represent your country, it's such an honor, and I think just being able to do it at the World Cup stage is something that you dream of since you're a little kid. So just a lot that goes into it, and I'm just trying to embrace it all and stick with me.
So we're excited to see what happens with DeMello and Team USA. As I mentioned, that first match of the World Cup for Team USA will be tomorrow. It is not at 6 a.m. as you may have wanted to watch Australia. If you want to watch Team USA, you're going to have to be a bit of a night owl on Friday night. They kick off at 9 o'clock. They will face Vietnam. Now, Kendrick.
Don't forget real quick.
Yeah.
Uchenna Kanu.
Yeah.
They play tonight at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, there you go.
And that game, that match, you can catch it on Peacock.
Be a night owl if you want to watch some of the Racing Louisville squad. Now, we talked a little bit about how early we got up. Kendrick has been working out a lot because obviously when you go on vacation, it all kind of comes back to you quickly. Before we get into our next segment, Kendrick, what have you been doing to actually recover from the vacation?
I've just been going to boxing training and getting killed for the last 3 days at boxing training. I'm basically a mummy up here. And so shout out to my trainer, Levon Breckenridge. You are not getting a Christmas card this year for what you've been doing to me in this gym. But it's been fun. It is fun, even though I'm extremely sore. And on top of everything, now Levon is an actual boxer. He actually has a fight next Saturday. He was like, we should spar. And I'm like,
I would pay to watch that.
I'm like, no, we should not. I'm good.
If LeVar's watching this, I'm so in on that. Let me know. We'll put it on TV. We'll live stream it right here. How about that? Kendrick wants to punch me right now for that. But I will say this.
I might.
You really might.
You can't get away from it.
I might need to take a step over here. Yeah. Shout out to Pro Rehab for setting up my leg, so maybe I can run away at least a little bit better thanks to them. But talking about gyms, there are a lot of great ones here in Louisville, but you came across one specific one that's having a significant impact not only on people's physical health, but also financially.
Right. Empower 6. It's located out in Middletown, kind of by what's the name of the bar? By Target. And if you're old school from Louisville's, by where Biggs used to be, because that's how people in Louisville remember stuff. Biggs and Bacon's and Bastard Manor and stuff like that.
That sounds good.
But anyway, this the Uridia brothers, Maurice Uridia. He runs the gym. It's Empower 6. He's working with his brother Mario Uridia. Most of you will know him, former UofL great. Both of those guys started in Fern Creek, my alma mater, and so they are working together to be able to have student athletes from Louisville, from wherever, come in, work out at the gym at a discount, but they have to learn some life lessons in order to do that. Empower 6 is one of the premier gyms in our area.
I work them correctly. I do good training. Straight up.
The brainchild of Maurice Uridia, who is also the lead trainer, is meant to bring people together.
You can get a doctor, a lawyer, you can get a professional athlete, you can get somebody who comes from nowhere. And when you come in here, you all have on fitness attire and you all are cordial.
Athletes from all walks of life, including former Trinity and UofL star and current NBA player David Johnson, train here.
Tristan, let's get it.
But it can get expensive, especially for the younger athletes. That's where Maurice's brother, former UofL star Mario Uridia, comes into play with his program, Super Student Athletes.
Super Student Athletes is a community-based program where we provide a playbook for student athletes.
With this program, athletes must complete 4 pillars:
community service, marketing, personal development, and financial literacy.
Once an athlete completes the task involved in those 4 pillars, they receive a discount to Empower 6.
Super Student Athletes gives them a playbook to where they can set their short-term goals in order to reach the overall long-term goal of working out in a facility like this.
Being able to work with athletes and provide something that helps athletes be able to afford what we're doing here, that's so important.
Rising Trinity sophomore Jaden Johnson is one of the athletes who is taking advantage of the program, which has taught him leadership skills,
showing that I'm able to hold myself accountable or hold other people accountable. And then that goes back to school and basketball and everything.
and it has taught him to give back to the community.
The Delta Foundation downtown in Portland, helping getting back to homeless, stuff like that, cleaning up the poor areas around the city, stuff like that.
Here's a before and after picture of Jaden, so the program obviously works. Improving the athlete on the field while preparing them for life after athletics is the ultimate goal for Super Student Athletes, and a dream come true for the Uridia brothers.
This is the pivotal moment to where we come together and we build a structure around athletes like us that came from where we come from.
It's the one thing that I always wanted to work with him on because I knew that this would be great.
And they are doing a great thing out there to help student athletes. So, because like I said, that gym it's not cheap. You can just look at it and tell. It's like it's going to be a little bit pricey out there. But I mean, to see all the work, and it's not just that. Like the most important part, along with the gym, especially when you talk about financial literacy, because that's one thing that's a lot of minority kids do not get those kinds of lessons and get that kind of teaching. For them to be able to teach that to these kids at an early age, they'll set them up for their futures when they get done playing ball.
I tell you what, my ACL is barking at me just watching some of the workouts these kids are doing. I mean, let's just talk real quickly about Jaden. The way that the transformation, oh my goodness, it is remarkable. Like, he's a sophomore.
He's a rising sophomore. Great kid. He's a great kid to begin with. I've been able to meet his father and talk to his father a few times when I've been out there at the gym. And Jaden has had a busy summer. He played in the Peach Gym a couple of weeks ago. He told me he's already taken 20 flights this summer.
That's insane.
School just ended in May. And so he's already taking 20 flights this summer, flying across the country, getting offers already. And so he's going to be a D1 athlete. And so he's going to go into a school with all of this stuff already in his head, already knowing how to navigate around NIL and all that stuff. Well, as much as he can, because I'm sure it's going to change in the next 2 or 3 years.
No kidding.
But he's going to have the tools to be able to navigate around that. And that's a very good thing.
Well, speaking of recruiting and just simply having the opportunity to be recruited, let's go to the other side of the court. We're going to have none other than a local talent. Her family has moved around quite a bit, but they have local ties here in Louisville. It would be none other than Bella Ragone, who we just saw a couple weeks ago. She has some pretty interesting news here, Kendrick.
Yes, the daughter of Dave Ragone. Her mom also played basketball at UofL. UofL has offered her. She's like Jaden. She's also a sophomore, so she's in the class of 26. And so she's a big guard. She can handle the ball. She's got size. She can shoot the ball. She didn't shoot the ball as much when I was out there, but she told me she can shoot the ball. She likes to shoot the ball, and she's going to be a great addition if she chooses UofL, which I think that's probably going to happen, but I don't want to make any sense. Of course, Dave Ragone is the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, and I just started watching that quarterback show on Netflix, and he's all over it because of Marcus Mariota.
That's a great show, by the way. If you've not watched it already, it captures 3 very different quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes, you have Kirk Cousins, and of course Mariota as well. But we'll say this: it's not like we shied away from asking Bella. If you have the opportunity to have Bella nearby, you got to ask, is Louisville at least in the discussion? Now, this was, by the way, prior to her actually getting that offer. Right. So this is a big deal, considering it's already revolved maybe a little in her head.
We come visit Louisville when we can. I was born here. My parents went to college here. There's history here. The recruiting process is definitely very new to me. They're recruiting at your age now, so you have to mature fast. You have to know how to talk to college coaches. You have to know how to keep composure and be able to answer the hard questions. And I think over time you get used to it. You get used to all the calls. You get used to kind of the disappointment, because I don't think that's talked about a lot in recruiting. There is this thing of disappointment because you work hard. That doesn't always mean success. My dad always tells me just because you work really hard doesn't guarantee your success. I get to see the campuses. I get to, college is a couple years away from me now. It's getting closer as time goes on, but it's exciting. I get to see what's going to happen, where I'm going to end up, and it's just all part of the recruit. It's the fun part of the process, honestly.
Let me talk about her dad real quick. I used to play pickup ball with Dave Ragone.
Did you really?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes. Dave, she's better than her dad already.
Really?
I have no problem saying that. I don't care if Dave saw it.
No.
But no, Dave's great people. Everybody knows that. But he can be physical on accident. I will not say whose eyebrow he split with on accident with his wedding ring, because he was playing basketball with his wedding ring on, and he split open somebody in the local media who I'm good friends with, and I'm not going to name any names, but I think you all know who I'm talking about, and it's still funny to this day.
That is awesome. How long ago was that?
Oh my goodness, this is probably a good 10 years ago, if not longer.
Was he just aggressive, or was it like a basketball move that he was making?
He played hard for pickup.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the crazy thing was, we had some people. It was myself, the guy I mentioned before. I'm not mentioning his name.
Would love to hear that name. Huh?
But Dave Ragone, Scott Padgett used to play with us.
Yeah.
He is just finished wrapping up his NBA careers before he got into coaching, and he's out here playing with us clowns. But we used to have a blast. But yeah, Dave, he can shoot the ball. He can dribble the ball. And actually, I see a lot of his game and watching the daughter play. She hates when you say that.
Yeah, she mentioned that in the interview. She said, if you tell her, so take note of this, if you say anything about how she reminds you of her father, it doesn't bode well for you at the end of the day.
I can't blame her.
Yeah. She just wants to be herself. Bella just wants to be herself. That's pretty cool, though. So you balled with the man himself.
Yeah. I mean, we used to have a good time, and he's, like I said, he's great people. He's hilarious. He calls me Marvin because of my resemblance to Marvin Lewis. I'm not even 100%.
Awesome.
I'm not even 100% sure Dave Ragone knows my real name.
Are you serious?
All he calls me is Marvin.
Really?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that one story with David Ortiz and Dustin Pedroia, where all he did, David Ortiz just one day called Dustin Pedroia Pee-wee, and he never stopped calling him that for years. And then one day, apparently there was like a mound visit or something. They gather and somebody calls Dustin Pedroia Dustin, and David turns to him and says, "Why do you call him that?" It's like, because that's my name. And Ortiz is like, "No, it's not. That's you now. It's the David Ortiz Dustin Pedroia."
I mean, I literally, when I saw him at that over at the fairgrounds that day, I walk up, I tap him on the shoulder, he turns around and says, "Marvin."
That is hilarious. He definitely thinks your name is Marvin.
He
needs to watch the
knows
local
it's
news.
not. He knows it's not, but that's Dave Rago.
Can you buy? We need to buy Kendrick a little patch that says "Hello, I'm," and then write in Marvin anytime.
I told you the Geno Atkins story.
Yes, you have.
For those of you
bring it back.
who don't know it, I ran into Geno Atkins at the Kentucky Speedway back when they used to have the Quaker State 400 up in Sparta. And randomly, some Bengals were there. I'm just standing there minding my own business. This giant of a man walks up to me, and it's Geno Atkins, and he says, "Bro, I just got to take a picture with you because you look just like Coach." And it was more to it than that. So we take the picture, whatever. He was like, "Bro, you got to come to training camp. Just dress just like him and just stand there." He's like, "I'll get you in. Just let me know." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." Of course, I didn't do it. But
you should have done it.
I totally should have done it because I want to say Hard Knocks was there that year, but I could be wrong.
You could have been Kendrick Knox. Like, I mean, it could have been your own show. Oh man, we could have strapped like a GoPro around you. Like,
I just stood there. But of course, I mean, I didn't do it. I should have done it though.
Yeah, another missed opportunity. Well, Kendrick, we'll end with this. The Kentucky Wildcats, they're heading into a very interesting new season transition. Of course, you have Leary at quarterback now, headed that direction. A lot of people hyping him up to be the best transfer quarterback. But SEC Media Days this week, and we have a report specifically from Lindsay Go out from Lexington, and she's going to talk a little bit more about breaking down the Wildcats as we head into this new 2023 season in the new look that is the Kentucky Wildcats of this year.
SEC Football Media Days marks the unofficial start to the season. And for the UK football seniors that are here representing the program today, they say they are ready to get after it. Before football season starts, you have to have talking season. As much as the fans look forward to football time in the Bluegrass, this is what the players and coaches have worked all season toward.
This shows football season back, and this is making me excited for sure, making my blood start running. Came in a little bumpy flight with the weather, but it's a blessing getting in the room. Everybody looks nice. I feel like we're all ready to go. Talk to everybody, have a blast.
As soon as this event rolls around, it's kind of go time. We've been working around the clock, around the year until July. So a little bit of a slow period, but once this time hits, it's exciting and really looking forward to it. I like where we're at as a program. Love our staff. I love the way this team's worked, and we're kind of chomping at the bit and ready to get going.
Fall camp begins August 2nd back in Lexington, and the players say they put in the work all summer and spring to get ready for it. We are now just 45 days out from that first kickoff against Ball State.
Thank you, Lindsay, and shout out to WKYT for helping us out going down to Nashville. Quick, I can't imagine the plane ride for Coach Stoops with J.J. Weaver and Octavius Oxendine on the plane. They are two of the funniest people you'll ever meet. They're always together. They're best friends, both of them, because JJ is from here, played at Moore. Octavius played at North Hardin, and they are hilarious.
Yeah,
Octavius. Because you haven't had the chance to meet him yet, you will.
I'm excited about that too.
And you remember Last Chance U?
Oh, one of the best shows. There. You know what? Like, a lot of these guys that are on that show, they're some of the most like flavor personalities that you'll find.
Well, you remember Ollie?
I do remember Ollie.
Thank Ollie when you meet Octavius.
Really? Really?
He's hilarious, just like Ollie. They're great. I did a story on the two of them last year at UK's Media Day.
Yeah.
They are hilarious. Of course, a shout out to J.J. Weaver. He got the NIL deal with Nike for the 6-finger glove because he has that extra finger. And that's something that, he of course, he had some trepidation about it growing up. I'm sure he got teased about it a lot. But he's turned it into
an advantage.
And he's turned it into an advantage, and he's turned it into a little money in his pocket. So shout out to J.J. one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. And he's one of those people, like watching Lindsay's story, when JJ pops up, you just smile.
Yeah.
He's just a great dude. He's fought off so many injuries, and he's a heck of a player. He's one of those guys. If he can stay healthy this season, he'll hear his name called at the NFL draft. He's that good.
They've got a lot of talent to be able to have that happen this year. And obviously, as you kind of referred to there, I mean, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Leary. And so the fact of the matter is, he's not the only guy that is going to possibly hear his name called come 2024's NFL draft either.
Yeah. And most of the sound bites that we've heard from Octavius is talking about the bumpy ride they had on the flight. They had a lot of turbulence apparently, and that's what he was talking about.
Hopefully the regular season won't be bumpy.
Now, mind you, SEC Media Day was in Nashville, and they flew from Lexington to Nashville.
So the small plane that they had to go on. I mean, come on, that is a drive. I have my personal thing is this: if you have a drive that is over 4.5 hours, then sure, it's okay. Probably.
I say 6.
You think 6? 6 is it. I think, I spend 2 hours to get to the airport, prior to the flight.
When he was out in California.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's how my adjustment is. So it's like a 3-hour window is how I see it. If I'm flying to like Phoenix, that's like from California, that was kind of my distance that I'd allow. But yeah, that's ridiculous, man. But I'll tell you this, the Kentucky Wildcats, they definitely shape up to be one of the more intriguing teams heading into the SEC's 2023 season. Obviously a lot of attention is going to be on the normal prospects that are Alabama, Georgia, LSU has gotten a lot of attention this offseason. But Kentucky with the transfer portal, maybe, just maybe, the losses that they had from this past season won't hurt them, but more so it's going to be just kind of a battle-tested transition for them.
The key for Kentucky this year is that offensive line. The offensive line struggled mightily last year. They have weapons on the outside. Their receiving core you could put their receiving core up against just about anyone in the country. But if you don't have time to throw the ball, you can't exploit that. And so the offensive line definitely has to make a leap from last season because it was a struggle last year.
It helped for them that they had a decent running game, even with the struggle up front. So that is going to be key for them.
And losing Chris Rodriguez.
That's huge. That's a huge loss.
And they lost Cavassier too. Yeah. And so to lose those two, they've got some stuff. Don't get me wrong. They've got some talent back there. It's just young. We just don't know how good they are yet. That offensive line has got to step up and become the big blue wall again like they were before.
They have a real opportunity to do that, of course. Here back at Wave, we're going to keep you updated with SEC Media Days and everything going on right here from the UofL too. But of course, when we look at the end of the day here, Kendrick, football season, it's getting a lot closer.
It's almost here. ACC Media Days is next week. UofL takes the podium, I believe, on Tuesday. Yeah. And I can't wait. I'm so ready for this football season to begin. I'm ready for high school football season to begin. We're getting out in the next couple of weeks to as many high schools as we can get to. I was at Bullitt East earlier this week. I've got something lined up with Christian Academy next week.
We're going to try to get a mail.
You're looking into mail. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting out there. We're going to have all your previews for you, and we'll bring them to you right here online on a bunch of stuff.
That's our job here. Hey, you know what? Do us a favor. If you're watching right now, go on Twitter, follow us. That would be at Wave News Sports. Once again, that's at Wave News Sports.
Hey, we got some comments. James Curry, Big Blue Football. Thanks, James. Thanks for watching.
There you go, James. Yes, we're going to bring you more, James, as well from our Twitter account. So make sure. Wave News Sports. Follow it now on Twitter. Of course, you can find us here with these live streams that we do daily, roughly around 7 o'clock, the 7 o'clock hour.
It's fluid.
It is fluid. It's fluid. But, this is kind of something new that we've been doing, as we've talked about. And finally, Kendrick and I are both here at the same time, and we're going to make the most of it as well.
Want to do this again tomorrow?
Well, you know what? Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'm Wave Sports Director Kendrick Haskins. You are?
I'm Dusty Baker.
And we will see you tomorrow.